notice, and this is a typical copyright. We continue with our mathematics syllabus, CSEC 2018 to 2027. Schedule of videos. I am hoping that by the end of September 2024, that is this month, I will have these 32 videos published on YouTube on number theory and computation, that is section 1. Section 2, by the end of October 2024. Section 3, November 2024. Section 4, December 2024, that's by year end measurement. January 2025, we begin with statistics and continue February with algebra. March, relations, functions, and graphs. April, geometry and trigonometry. And finally, by May, hopefully by mid-May, vectors and matrices. I have divided section 1 into 32 videos, all of which will be published on YouTube in their entirety. So far, these 16 videos have been published, plus some more, and we are now here at video 21. So I divided this objective 8, in section 1 into 3 videos, and we are now at the third one, conversions using conversion scales. This picture that you see here was taken from a bank on April 12, 2023, but this keeps changing all the time. A bank in the Eastern Caribbean. You do not have to learn any of these conversion scales since they will be given to you as stated in this part of the objective. Now, in order to use this conversion table or scale, a crucial but understood piece of information is missing. In other words, these numbers that you see here, what are they compared to? And in this case, it is the EC, or the local equivalent. That is to say, if you consider $1 US, it is worth, if you are changing it, a bank is buying it, 2.6700 EC dollars if the bank is buying it from you. But if you go to buy $1 US, they will sell it to you for 2.7169 EC dollars. So they will sell at a higher rate than they buy. That is cash. If you turn up with checks, then they will buy the check at that rate and sell at this rate if you want to buy US dollars in check. Now remember, this buying and selling and so on is from the bank's perspective, not yours. So you are in the bank and want to buy 200 US dollars cash. How much EC will that cost you? You want to buy. That means the bank is going to sell it to you. So we are not using this rate. That is from the bank's perspective. We are using this rate. The bank is selling to you. You are buying. Now, as you could see, $1 US here, cash, is 2.7169 cash. If you are buying, the bank is selling. So we'll multiply, since $1 US is equal to 2.7169 EC, then we will multiply that 200 by the EC, and you get 435.38, that is 435 EC dollars and 38 cents. Normally, you would put that in the examination unless you realize that in the EC there is no 1 cent or 2 cent, and the system used is round off to the nearest 5 cent. So $435.38, you would actually end up paying $435.40 since there is no 1 cent or 2 cent coins. Now, assuming that there are no other charges, this is what you will pay. Let's look at another example. You are in this bank and want to sell, that is change, 150 US dollars cash. How much EC will you get? From the bank's perspective, the bank will be buying your US dollars. So we will use this exchange rate here, not this one. This is the one when they are selling to you. So 1 US dollar, this 2.6700 is what the bank will buy from you. You are selling to the bank will buy from you. So we use 2.6700, we multiply that by 150, and you get $400.50. Now you are in this bank, third example, and you want to buy 5,000 PT dollars as one check. How much EC will you have to pay the bank if there is also a flat charge of $10 EC per check? So you want to buy, which means the bank is going to sell. So we will be looking here. Bank is selling. TT, we come across here and we get 0.4315 per EC dollar. So then 1 TT dollar is worth 0.4315 EC dollar. That's a little less than 50 cents showing here. So you will multiply that by the 5,000 and you get $2,157.50. That is to say, $2,157.50 as exchange, plus the $10 EC flat charge. So you end up paying $2,167.50. You are in a bank and you want to cash a check of 780 euros. How much EC will you get? We will assume that there are no extra charges. So you want to cash the check, so you are selling to the bank. The bank is buying from you. So we are here. And it is check. So it's not cash, it's check. So we come to euros, that is here. We come across here, we skip that, and we will be using this exchange rate, 2.8474 per EC. So since 1 euro is worth 2.8474 EC when you are dealing with checks, you will multiply the exchange rate by the euros and you will get $2,220.97. But remember that issue about no 1 cent and 2 cent? If you didn't know that and you had this on an examination question, that is what you will write as your answer. But there is no 1 cent or 2 cent coins in EC currency. So you would have to round off to the nearest 5 cents. And that would give you $2,220.95. That is what you would get if you turn up to the bank with a check for 780 euros. That is the cash you will get. So you have sold the bank a check. The bank has bought a check from you. And if you want to change US to sterling pounds, what happens? You want to change US to sterling, pounds, what happens? Now, the bank will not work out a factor between those two. What the bank will do, it will buy your US, converting it to local EC dollars, then sell you the equivalent in pounds. That way, the bank will ensure that it is buying at a lower rate and then selling you at a higher rate. So remember, the bank is always there to make a profit. It is not there to befriend you. Now, if you find this video useful and interesting, please like and share. That is, like and share. And you may even consider subscribing to this channel. After all, it doesn't cost you anything, and that means a lot to me. Now, let's do some conversion using a different conversion scale. Now, in the case of the bank, we were using a conversion scale, which is a little more complicated than the one we are showing here on the screen. To understand it, if you are carrying feet to meters, you will multiply the given feet by this factor, and that will give you meters. That is, if you're going from feet to meters, or square feet to square meters. You will multiply the square feet you are given, you will multiply by this factor, and you will get square meters. Of course, if you are going the other way around, if you are given kilometers and you want to convert that to feet, then you will divide by this factor to get the feet equivalent. So how many centimeters are there in 3.02 feet? So we want centimeters, and we are given the unit in feet. So we are in feet. So we will take that 3.02 feet, multiply it by this factor, and we will get the answer in centimeters. So since 1 foot is equal to 30.48 centimeters, then 3.02 feet will be 3.02 feet times 30.48 centimeters per foot. And that will give you this if you multiply it out. So we have 4 significant figures up here, the factor. We have 3 significant figures here, how many feet. So we will round off to 3 significant figures, that is 1, 2, 3. We will round off at that. We will round off at this 0, and we get 92.0 plus or minus 0.05 centimeters. Let's look at another example. 845 miles are equal to how many kilometers? So we are given miles and we want kilometers. We are going from miles, so we will multiply by this factor and we will get that answer. So we know that 1 mile is equal to 1.609 kilometers, that is this factor. So 845 miles, you will multiply that miles by the 1.609 kilometer per mile, and you get this amount of kilometers. If we take into account significant figures, this conversion factor here has 4 significant figures, and the amount of miles we have has 3 significant figures. So we will round off our answer to the least significant figure, and that will be 3 significant figure, 1, 2, 3, and we get 1,360 plus or minus half of the position of the uncertain digit, which is 10, which would give us 5 kilometers. Next one, convert 25 acres to square kilometers. Now, up here we were dealing with linear measurement length. Now we are dealing with area. We are going from acres to square kilometers. So we are here. This is our conversion factor. If we are going from acre to square kilometer, we will multiply. If we are going from square kilometer to acre, we will divide by this factor here. So since 1 acre is equal to 4.047 exponent negative 3 square kilometer, then 25 acres would obviously be 25 multiplied by that conversion factor. And we get this answer here. Let's look at the significant figures. We have 2 significant figures here. We have 4 significant figures here. So our answer cannot have more significant figure than the factor with the least significant figure. Our answer can only have 2 significant figure. 1, 2, we have to round off there. So it is 0.10, and we take half of that uncertain digit position, which is 0.005. And so our answer is this. Example 4, we want to carry 2.6 square meter to square feet. So we are dealing with square units. We are in square meter, that is here, and we want to go to square feet. This is our conversion factor. Now that we are going from this side, from the right side to the left side, instead of multiplying, we will divide. So we know that 1 square foot is equal to 9.209 exponent negative 2 square meter. Then 2.6 square meter will be that 2.6 divide by this conversion factor, and we get 28.233 square feet. We have 2 significant figures here. We have 4 significant figures here. Our answer cannot have more significant figure than the factor with the least significant figures. So our answer can only have 2 significant figure. We have to round off at the ones position. That is 28, and we take half of that position, which is 0.5, more or less. Example 5, we want to carry 3.95 hectares to acres. We are still dealing with square units. We are at hectares, and we want to carry that to acre. This is our conversion factor. Since 1 acre is equal to so many hectares, that is this conversion factor here, then 3.95 hectare will be 3.95 divide by the conversion factor, and we get this amount of acres. We have 3 significant figures here. We have a whole lot of significant figures there. Our answer cannot have more significant figure than the factor with the least significant figure, which is 3. So we have to round off to 3 significant figures. 1, 2, 3. That would be 9.76, and we will take half more or half less than the position of the uncertain digit, which is this 6. And so our answer is 9.76 plus or minus 0.005 acres. Question 6, we want to carry 8.6 cubic meters to cubic feet. Now we are dealing with volume. We are dealing with cubic meter to cubic feet. So we are here cubic meter to cubic feet. If we were going from cubic feet to cubic meter, we will multiply by this conversion factor. But since we are going from cubic meter to cubic feet, we will divide by this conversion factor. So by now you know how that goes. 8.6 cubic meter divided by the conversion factor, and we get 303.67 cubic feet. As it relates to significant figures, this has 2 significant figures. This has 4 significant figures. Our answer cannot have more significant figure than the factor with the least number of significant figures, which is 2. So we are going to have to round off here. So that will give us 300. And since we are rounding off at the tens position, we will take half of the tens position, which is actually 5, not 0.5, 5 cubic feet. Example 7, we want to carry 45 US gallon to UK gallon. Now, notice we are not moving from one of these units on the right to one on the left, nor from one on the left to one on the right. As a matter of fact, both of these are on the left. You have US gallon here and UK gallon here. You have US gallon here and UK gallon here. So we have to derive our own conversion factor. So first of all, we will look for a common unit on the other side. In this case, we will consider liter. We have liter here, we have liter here, and both of them are related to US gallon and UK gallon. And then we will multiply the given amount using a ratio with the given unit factor as the numerator and the goal unit factor as the denominator. So let me explain that. So 45 US gallon, this is the conversion factor to liter. That's the numerator. And this is the conversion factor of liter and UK gallon, so that we set up a ratio of the US gallon to the UK gallon. We multiply that and notice that since it takes more liters to make 1 UK gallon than it does US gallon, then obviously this 45 US gallon will be less in UK gallon. And so we get this answer here. We are dealing with two significant figures. We round off at this position. So we get 37 plus or minus 0.5 UK gallon. Now, there are many such tables and scales from which we can derive actually millions of questions. So what you have to do is learn the few principles to apply in all such cases. And we looked at two tables today, the one with the currency and this one with units of length, area, and volume. So we have covered this, completed, and that brings us to the end of video 3 of objective 8 in section 1.